basic grammar mid-test. Before it, I will introduction myself. My name is Surya Dewantoro Joyningrat from Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris Education Programs, Ilmu Pendidikan Faculty, Pancasakti University. Okay, we then go to the topic is a simple present tense. The simple present tense is a verb tense with two main uses. Remember that. And when we use simple present tense, we use the simple present tense when an action is happening right now, or when it happens regularly or unceasingly, which is why it's sometimes called present indefinite. Depending on the person, the simple present tense is formed by using the root form or by adding s or es to the end of the verb. For example, is I feel great. Pauline loved pie. I'm sorry to hear that you are sick. The other is to talk about habitual action or occurrence, like Mr. Franscy said. For example, is Pauline practices the piano every day. Miss Jackson travels during the summer. Hamsters run all night. Typically, when we want to describe a temporary action that is currently in progress, we use the present continuous. Like Pauline can come to the phone right now because she is brushing her teeth. And now I want to talk how to form a simple present. In the simple present, most regular verb use the root form except in the third person singular, which end in s. The first person singular is I. It's not using s, it's just a right. And same the first person singular is the second person singular is you, right? And the third person singular, like he, she, or it, is using the s in the end of the verb, like right. Noted the s. First person plural, we write. Second person plural, you write. And third person plural, they write. It's same. For a few verbs, the third person singular ends with es instead of s. Typically, there are verbs whose root form ends in o or ch or sh or th or ss or gh or z. In the first person singular, like I go, just I go. The second person singular is you go. And in the third person singular is a he, she, or it. In the end of the verb using es, like goes. Noted the es. Why? Because the end of the abject in the verb is o, and when it o, we are using the es. In the first person plural, we go. Second person plural, you go. The third person plural, they go. For most regular verbs, you put the negation of the verb before the verb. For example, she won't go, or I don't smell anything. The verb to be is irregular. First person singular I is using am. The second person singular you is using are. The third person singular like he, she, or it is using is. And the first, second, and third person plural, you can use the are like we are, you are, or they are. And now I want to talk to you how to make the simple present negative. In the first one, we just talk about affirmative in the simple present, and now we talk to how to make the simple present negative. The formula for making simple present verb negative is do or does plus not plus root form of verb. You can also use the contraction don't or doesn't instead of do not or does not. For example, like Pauline does not want to share the pie. She doesn't think there is enough to go around. Her friend do not agree, and I don't want pie anyway. To make the verb to be negative, the formula is to be plus not. For example, like I am not a pie lover, but Pauline sure is. And the second one is you aren't ready for such delicious pie. And the third one, I want to talk to you how to ask a question in a simple present. The formula for asking a question in the simple present is do or does plus subject plus root form of the verb. For example is, do you know how to bake a pie? And the second one is, how much does Pauline love pie? The common verb in the simple present is like to ask, in ayu dewi is ask or do not ask, just like that. And in he, she, it, it's like using s in the last of the verb, like ask or doesn't not ask. To work, in ayu dewi just work or do not work. In he, she, it works or does not work in the negative. And to call, in ayu dewi is call, just call, and do not call. In he, she, it, when you get the affirmative text or affirmative tense, you can adding the s in the last of the verb, like calls. And the negative simple present is the just does not call. And to use is use or do not use. In he, she, is uses or do not use. And to have, in ayu dewi is have or do not have. But in he, she, it is has or does not have. The verb to be in the simple present. The to be in I is am or am not, just like I am or I am not. In you, they, we is are or are not, like you are or we are not or they aren't, etc. And in he, she, it is using is or is not, like he is, she is, or it isn't, and etc. Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoy and like my this sharing video, and I want to tell the thank you for Mr. Franz for the education in this semester. Thank you very much for you and for everybody, for friends. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.